Hey everyone, it's Ashley Jones, Event Director at Marketing Showcase. Thanks for watching one of our recordings from Marketing Showcase Online. I really hope you enjoy it, and hopefully I'll see you at another one soon.
Morning, everybody. So what we're going to talk about this morning is some pitfalls to avoid as you go through your video marketing campaigns. Hopefully this presentation will be equally useful for you, whether you're really experienced at running video campaigns, do them a lot, but maybe finding that you're not getting the return that you're hoping for, you're not quite getting the reach or the engagement levels that you want, and that the videos aren't performing as well as you'd like. Or maybe you're really new to video, you haven't been doing an awful lot of it, and it's something that you've decided is a priority for you in 2021, and you want to start out on the right foot and make sure that your campaigns are going to do extremely well for you. So a few ideas to share with you today to help you avoid any problems. So the first mistake that we see our clients sometimes falling into when they start creating video content is that they're trying to make video that is too broad. They're really trying to speak to too many different audiences in the one piece of video content. And when that happens, the danger is that actually your message doesn't really resonate strongly enough with anyone, and that your piece of content doesn't actually deliver what it is that you wanted it to do, because people have to work too hard to find the message that's appropriate to them within your video. What we find is that obviously when you're creating a video, you know what you want to say. You have the messaging that you need to get out there into the market to your target audience. And yet your target audience, there's certain things that they're interested in finding out about. And what your challenge, I suppose, is to make sure that you focus in on the sweet spot of where those two things overlap. Because it's the worst thing in the world when you pack your video with a lot of detail that your audience is uninterested in. You are going to lose their attention. So it's super important that you are disciplined about what exactly goes into and is left out of each of your individual pieces of video content. So in terms of trying to find that sweet spot, what exactly is it that you should be talking about? Well, when we're helping clients to get off the ground with their video campaigns, one of the things that I talk to them a lot about is trying to listen to their audience and listen to what people are interested in, and then go and make your content based on that information, rather than just sitting back and dreaming up what you think they might like to know. Obviously, the conversations you're having with your clients are your first port of call. What frequently asked questions do you get, or does your team get? What comes in on your social channels? What questions are you being asked when you meet clients, maybe at conferences and events or online events? But also to look online at what the general conversations that are happening in the world at the moment that are relevant to your industry and your particular audience segment. So you might like to do some social listening. You might use tools like Hootsuite to see what people are talking about. You could do some Google trend searches, or even just Google searches. If you type in something that's relevant to your industry, and you see what are the other commonly searched for terms that Google will automatically pull up for you. You might find 2 or 3 of those, put those into Google Trends, and then see which ones are most common. And then you can take that information and go away and produce a piece of video content around that, so that you know there is an audience out there already looking for that piece of information. It's guaranteed that you're going to be giving people information that they're actively looking for, rather than just doing your, hoping for the best when it is that you're putting your videos together. So that's the first thing I would say. Make sure that each video you do is specific to a particular piece of information people are looking for. Don't try to put the whole kitchen sink into one video. Break it down and make sure each video stands on its own 2 feet with a few messages, max 2 or 3, to a specific target audience, and then move on to the next message to the next audience and keep them separate. And in that way, people will really, really connect with your video content because it's for them, and they're not trying to sort of find their way through all of this extra information that they don't need. So that's the first mistake. Be really specific. The second mistake, linked closely to the first one, is that your videos are too long. And again, this is about the discipline of making sure that what you're saying is on point, is relevant and directed at a specific target audience for that piece of video content. Again, if you're trying to pack too much information in, you are going to lose their attention. And we all know that attention spans, especially on social channels, really are very, very short. So there's a couple of points to make here. Overall length of video is really critical, and we can see that there is an absolute cliff edge, that if your video is longer than 2 minutes, forget about it. You're getting hardly anyone to watch it through to the very, very end. What you should be doing, if you do have a longer piece of video content that is really meaty, it could be a great interview with somebody in your industry, it could be a more detailed case study that has real value for potential customers. Put that on your own website, but create a trailer that you're going to share on social media that directs people to the longer piece of content, so they've opted in to watch it. But if you're putting out a 5-minute video on your LinkedIn page, it's very difficult to get someone to watch that from start to finish in one go without having given them some kind of a teaser in advance. So again, be very targeted in terms of what you're putting into your videos. Make sure it's very, very aligned to a particular audience and what they're interested in. Keep it short. And really, I would say your videos should contain no more than 3 or 4 key messages per video. It can be hard for us when we look at our own companies and we're trying to communicate what our companies do, to separate the wood from the trees. It's very easy to kind of get straight into the features and not focus on the benefits, to get overly detailed about what it is that we do. And you really have to always, I suppose, take the helicopter view and stand back and say, well, hang on a second, put myself in my customer's shoes. They just want to know some key messages. And then I'm trying to always guide them to get more information. So whether it's a second video they watch, or a white paper that they download, or a discovery call that they book with you, you're always feeding them, drip feeding them information, so that you're moving them through the funnel, not trying to give everything to them in one piece of video content that is just too long, too unwieldy, and you're going to lose them. And the other point about making your videos too long is if your call to action is only at the end, and you've only got about 10% of your viewers watch it right through to the end, then you've missed an opportunity to actually deliver that call to action to that audience. So just make sure your logo is always on screen. You might have some banner information running that gives people information on your website or contact details. Don't leave all your important calls to action to the very end of your videos, particularly if they're quite long. Okay, mistake number 3. Oh, sorry, digital breadcrumbs. This is my latest phrase that I love. We're talking about trying to drip feed content for people throughout the sales funnel and the marketing funnel. So I wanted to just give you some ideas about how you can practically do that. So at the start, you're trying to reach people who may not even be aware of your company, might never have heard of you, don't know the brand. They're never going to do an active search online for you because they don't know who you are. What you're trying to do is to be discovered. So when they're on Google and they're searching for something, that you have some really interesting, fantastic video content ready to be discovered that is specific to what they're searching for, that the search engines have prioritized because it is video content, and we know that they're all doing that right now. And you want to be discovered. So you want to give them some information that is relevant to their search. So it's more broad-based, it's advice or it's educational content. For example, if you work in maybe a legal firm, you might be putting out some video content that is general advice around, for example, probate law or divorce law. Or it could be something that is relevant in the news, and you produce a piece of video content that is in response to that. What's your firm's perspective on that? What is the thoughts and advice that you can share? And you're just giving away that knowledge and that expertise, but it's helping people to discover your brand. And that's exactly what you want to do. And once they've discovered you, then you want to kind of draw them further into the funnel and learn more about your specific company, your specific product, your team, your services, exactly what it is that you guys do. So that's when you can get a little bit more detailed in terms of product demonstrations or case studies showing how your company has worked with different companies in the past, the benefits that they've accrued from that. So this is mid-funnel content that you can have prepared and ready to share. Obviously, it's on your own channels, but it's also really handy for you to be able to proactively send out to people who might have downloaded a white paper or signed up for your webinar. You have some other gift that you can go back to them with. So it's very, very valuable to have that ready to go. And then the next stage of the funnel, you've got them on a call. You might have been able to do a sales call, a discovery call. Maybe you've presented to the team. Now you want to really get that sale across the line, and you want to hammer home the concrete results and benefits that you've been able to generate for other clients. So it's case studies. It's really granular information that proves the point that you've been saying to them. So having all these different pieces of content in your toolkit ready to share is ideal. That's what you're aiming for, so that you always have something to go back to somebody with. The worst thing in the world is to be following up with really nothing new to add or share or entice them with. We know that people are often doing their research and searching maybe weeks or months before they're ready to buy. And what the ideal scenario for you is that you have these digital breadcrumbs that you can continue to share with them throughout that period, and that they're going to get, renewed value from each time you reach out to them. So it's not just a, here's my proposal, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up, with nothing new to add to the conversation. So having a lot of different pieces of content specific for different audience segments is ideal for exactly this situation. Okay, moving on. Next mistake people make is boring people to death. And we've all really groaned through so many pieces of video content that really shouldn't have got past the marketing person and the team. What I would say to you is, you have to be brave. You have to differentiate yourself and stand out from your competitors. And to do that, you really need to have personality in your content and take a stance. Have an opinion, get off the fence. What do you stand for? What do you represent? Because if you're not differentiating your brand, then you're at risk of just competing on price, because you're the exact same as everybody else. So if I'm a customer looking to go to York for a weekend away with some friends from college, and I'm Googling, I've never been to York, no idea what the city is like, and I'm just Googling hotels in the area. Hotels really need to work hard to differentiate themselves, because obviously hotels offer similar services. So why would I choose your venue as opposed to another one? So you've got to have sort of personality so that you stand out from your competition. Have a point of view and be confident about saying it, whatever that is, whether it's that you offer incredible customer service, whether that's what it's about, or whether it is price. Maybe price is your differentiating point. Whatever you've decided is your standout feature, then really, really hammer that home in your pieces of video. Personality and authenticity, these are the key words, and it's becoming ever more important. We are overflowing with digital content coming at us, and a lot of video content can be quite bland, corporate promo type, very safe, very corporate, very grey. Really, you need to stand out. And to do that, you have to show your personality and share it. Be proud of what your company is about. Be proud of your team. Be proud of who you are. You don't need to hire in actors. Showcasing your own team is really, really key, because that shows the personality behind the brand, and it shows the people in the company. In the end of the day, we buy from people. So if I am going to look at maybe a financial firm to do some work with, I want to see what they're like on screen. I want to hear their advice around, maybe I'm going to restructure my mortgage because I want to release some equity. I want to see what they're like and listen to them and know whether, do I feel like I could work with these people? Do I trust them? Is there a connection there? So getting your own team front of camera is really important. I know that people will say they won't do it. They absolutely won't do it. And what you might find is that there are one or two people on the team who actually are more open to it, are more confident on screen, and you might need to do some training. You might need to get someone in to do maybe a morning session on presenting on camera and just relaxing and how to actually present well. There's loads of people who can do that for you. But getting your own team to showcase who they really, really are on screen is so powerful, trust me. And as well as your own team, it's your own customers, because sharing that third-party objective customer voice is so powerful. We all know it. We're all so, we believe in reviews. We listen to reviews. We listen to case studies and customer testimonials because we feel we can trust them to a certain extent. And what I would say is, when you're creating lots of different pieces of video content throughout the year to reach different audiences on different channels with different messages, each piece of customer content that you share, it's just like a mini story that backs up and adds to your overall brand story. So just think of it like little chapters in your own novel that is constantly reinforcing and proving the messages that you're sharing as well. So customer voice is really, really important, very, very strong. It can take a bit of time and effort to get them, but they are worth their weight in gold. As Seth Godin says, you're either remarkable or you're invisible. And that's so true today in terms of digital content. You've got to have video content so that you are discoverable. You've got to showcase who you actually are and be brave enough to put that out there, or else you're just indistinguishable from your competition, and it all comes down to price. Okay, mistake number 4, planning ahead. I think we've all been there, where two people have a quick discussion about, oh, let's do a video on, we're launching a new menu for the weekend. Let's do a quick video on Thursday and get it out there. And then, you put in a few hours, you get some lovely content together, and then you show it to the boss, and they're like, that's not what I wanted at all. Taking the time to plan it out in advance really, really makes the journey much smoother, makes sure everybody is on the same page in terms of what you're trying to achieve. And it just means that you're not having to go back and reshoot, re-edit time and time again. So this need not take hours and hours and 24 meetings. This can be done over a quick 20-minute conversation. It's just really important that you have the key elements agreed in advance so that you both know, or whoever is involved is aware of what's happening. So things like, who is your target audience? What messages are you trying to share with them? Are you going to script it? And if you are, who's writing the script? What are the key words that people are doing Google searches for that you need to make sure are reflected in the language used in the video? Where are you going to publish it? So how long should it be? And obviously, as I said, it's really, really important to keep things as succinct as possible. And then some channels will have limits in terms of how long it should be as well. What are you actually going to film? What B-roll footage are you going to use? Where are you going to film it? Do you need some props? Do you need permission? Do you need access to particular places at the moment? Who is going to be in the video? I mean actors by people. I don't mean hiring in actors. As I said, getting your own people on screen is hugely important. But who is going to participate? Who's going to speak on camera? Who's going to be interviewed? Who's going to do the camera work? And who's going to edit it together? And in the end of the day, what kind of video do you want to make? What's the tone? Is it upbeat and punchy and live music and really, really fast and, energetic? Or is it something that's a bit more considered, maybe some classical music in the background, something that's a bit more weighty in tone because you're trying to express your authenticity and your expertise in terms of sharing advice with your potential audience? So taking 20 minutes, 30 minutes at the start to have this conversation, get everything agreed, is super important. What we're giving today to you guys is a free downloadable video planner and storyboard to help you with exactly the key messages and the key points that you need to have agreed in advance. So after the showcase today and tomorrow, we'll be able to share that with any of you who want it, which is a really useful tool. Okay, mistake, not owning your own content. When you hire someone to come in and shoot a piece of video content for you, yes, you get a really piece of lovely video back and you're able to share that on your channels and you're delighted and happy days. And then next month when you need a new video, you're starting from scratch all over again. Your content is such an invaluable resource that it is critical that you own it, manage it, control it, and can repurpose it, because you need fresh video content on a regular basis. So not having access to your own video content really is just throwing money out the door. It's leaving money behind, and you're always having to start from scratch, which makes every new video project even more difficult and long-winded. Obviously, Video Sherpa is all about helping teams create content in-house to do it for themselves so that they can own and manage their own content. But the points to get across really is, if you have your own content, if you are doing it in-house, make sure you have a system to manage it. You're not wondering where is it and what was it called and who had it last and on what device is it shared and whose laptop had it, what memory stick. That's just such a disaster. What you want is a digital asset management system. Video Sherpa has one inbuilt, but there are others that you can buy and use, and it's a way to streamline and manage all your content so it's easily archived and easily reused again in other footage, in other video content. So it's very, very important that you're able to do that easily within the organization, share it across the team so that you're squeezing maximum value out of your original footage and being able to repurpose it in different ways for different audiences, in different videos, on different channels, and so on and so on. So they're my 5 key mistakes to avoid. I hope they're useful. I'm happy to take some questions. If anyone has any questions, I think we've got a couple of minutes left. So yeah.
Oh, I tell you what, Anna, this is the best question you could ever be asked, but I think it's a chance for you just to do a short 20-second pitch. What is Video Sherpa?
So Video Sherpa is a video production platform. It helps companies create their own video content in-house. Crucially, it's a guided filmmaking tool as well as a simple editor. It's got its own digital asset manager built into it. And because it's cloud-based, everyone can access all of their footage and collaborate on the cloud 24/7.
Brilliant. Hi everyone, thanks for watching another recording from Marketing Showcase Online. I hope you enjoyed it. Just to let you know, we've got all of the recordings uploaded to our brand new YouTube channel, so go over there and check it out if you want some more great content. We run these events once every month, free of charge, so head over to our website to grab tickets for next month's event. I look forward to seeing you there.